Good afternoon, Scott Rella, T3 Live. Welcome to today's recap. So it's Monday, first day of the week, and the indices were pretty much flat. Some people were like, what's going on here? This is ridiculous. And then some were saying, okay, if the markets were up big on Friday and we hold higher and digest, what's ridiculous about that? That's pretty normal action, because within that digestion, you also find nice individual plays that could make you money on a cash flow basis or then some. So yesterday we knew, or Friday, you had the strength in the banks, some strength in the TBTs, some possible day ones for a day two in some of the high beta names, and then some things did absolutely nothing. Some things actually worked on the short side. So, these type of days you're not always going to have a blockbuster day. You can have days where you have to manage your positions and also come in without certain stocks and trade them through inflection points and action areas and see if you can make some money. As far as the S&P, take a look right here. You will see that, this is the trend that we've been following, and I'm just going to point it out. Here's the most recent, which is what we're trying to navigate here for alpha and cash flow. This was that red dog reversal. Here is your potent move through the descending channel. Here was your commitment to that break above the descending channel. Then after a little bit of rest, went again, broke above the prior high. And then here's where we are now in the SPX. Okay, you had a small inside day today. And if you think about it, from the volatile action of last week where you had this engulfing day Thursday to then get back engulfed on Friday, this to me is saying that the bulls are trying to show some commitment there. If the bears had any kind of power, they would never have let the bulls take back at least half. So with that being said, the longer we stay above this 1760-ish, the higher the probability that this gets taken out. So with that said, you got to figure out what you want to do, where you want to live, what time frame you want to trade. Friday, the banks were decent. You take a look at the XLF. Not much follow through today, but you could have bought them when they were down, and they held the top third, so it still looks good in my opinion. Goldman Sachs tried to edge out, still hasn't been able to. Morgan, we talked about the cleanest pattern, and that had the cleanest move today, or one of the cleanest patterns, and there you go. Into new highs. This is going to be the thesis for 2013. You're going to have to pick the best patterns in order to make the money. Otherwise, it could be a little frustrating. As far as Bank of America, I wasn't in it on Friday. I got in it today while it was red. I wanted to weigh in, and now I'm back in Bank of America. Here is your pivot going sideways. Here is your day one, okay, and then this is your day two. And now here is resistance all the way up here. So we'll see, what kind of action comes leading into there. Overall, though, we talk about day one / day two. Day one, so if you got long this one on Friday, while it was lower and showed relative strength, you added to it for day two. Then you sell some if you get a day three, and then you wait all over again. Same thing happened with Morgan Stanley. Morgan Stanley, this was your day one, engulfing this range. Was a little negative, traded through the prior high. That was your add, and then you could have even taken some off into some strength and then stuck with some. So that is how you try and maneuver day 1, 2, and 3. And then obviously if you get more than that, you're left in the cold because you trim and trailed yourself out of a lot of good stock, which we saw a lot of in 2013. So with that being said, let's just take a quick look through high beta tech land. As far as Apple's concerned, it was weak early on, and then it somewhat held where it had to. You look at the chart here, still trying to stay relevant. I'm not going to get through this whole mess down there. All I'm going to do is show you what recently matters, and that's right here. Today looked weak. And then I think, Carl Icahn did some kind of tweet about the stock being cheap still, and he said Tim Cook says the same. That was on Twitter, whatever. At this point, still held this point, this area, and has to really clear here with some kind of very big wide range bar to really get people to trust it. Last time it was tight, it went, but it still was very small little bars. So anyway, I am long some and above 521-ish or 522-ish with authority, though. Perhaps I'll add, and then you could actually stick with it for more than just a choppiness, because it's been really choppy, since earnings. Amazon, not much to say. Bounced back a little bit, traded over the prior day high. Now it's coming into some resistance. Google was downgraded this morning, and sort of held in there well. I didn't really agree with the downgrade, but whatever. Who am I? These are the levels. This is recent support. So some are trading against 1,007, closed a little bit above that. Then you have this, and then you have the earnings gap. Netflix actually looked a little bit better than some of the others. It's still riding this trend from here, or at least this one. And now it held higher again, and you do have a pivot. So there are still some people trapped short this thing. So if it were to trade above this 344, perhaps you get some more motion. So I think some people were looking at that today. Some might even be in it. I am not, but it looks like it's in the game if it wants to push. Talk about pushes. Tesla pushed today. This also is a decent example of how to get involved with the red dog reversal on a potential day one. So here was your day one, okay, after a big move after earnings from almost 180 down to below 140. Made a little sense. We talked about 135-ish as being support if it gave up the 100-day, which it did there. Anyway, with that being said, if you took home some long on a potential red dog reversal, because it did close above the 137.62, day two is when you get confirmation that you have some continuation. It went from negative to positive a few times, and then it crossed above 140.60, and I believe we had that on the price point sheet for continuation, and up in $4. That was nice cash flow for some. Now people are asking where it can go. I guess it makes some sense that it could continue. Might not be that it's not going to be the Tesla of old, okay, before breaking this trend, or this accelerated trend right here too, but could have some room if you actively need something to do for P&L and for cash flow. And that's what most guys look to be doing. And that happened right over here. Then I guess let it hang in there, and then maybe it goes again, and then these moving averages will probably be a wall of resistance. So we'll see what happens there. As far as Facebook, came in short, did not trade this great. A lot of us have been talking about this potential head and shoulders pattern, where you have the left shoulder, the head, the right shoulder, and it's below the moving average, and it does look like it's a little prone to some kind of move lower. As of now, it did break below this area, and now the point of reference you do have here is right there with a 45.26, which it's getting close to. And then you have a little bit further to go, which the measured move, some are saying, is down to almost around 40. Okay, so with that being said, who knows here? All I know is that to me, it was more calculated when you had this cup and handle pattern that it was building before igniting after earnings. You had a really nice tradable move once it came out with earnings and held above it, and then this became a nice tradable move. So at some point, we'll see maybe if that another trend type starts to develop. But here is when it cleared this. You had a lot of nice little buy patterns here, and now it's been pretty much trending lower ever since the volatility of earnings, and then when it couldn't hold this gap here. But anyway, so that being said, not the easiest short today. If you pressed it, you probably lost a little bit of money. But overall, if you went home short Friday and didn't work today, and you looked at the quotes, you're like, oh, okay, not a bad day. Considering the markets were somewhat flat, so it showed relative weakness again. So tomorrow we'll come in. I'm actually flat. I didn't take it, and I'll cry if it's down here tomorrow, but whatever. I'll grab a Kleenex. Anyway, 45.73 is your new point of reference, and then there's that one. So Twitter. Twitter was a surprising trade today. Not a blockbuster trade, but something to do. Talked about using the pivot from Friday as your action area. Okay, so from the open, went to 50, came below, came in on Friday. So this was the only 2 points you knew. Traded below, traded back above this 40.69. That was your pivot. People on the virtual trade floor saw it go green. I tried it for a trade, traded it a few times, but held a small portion of it for the majority of the day and closed well. So I took a little bit home because these red dog reversals sometimes are good for a day and a half. And now this is our new point of reference. So who knows, maybe over time this thing will create some kind of wedge, and we'll figure out what's next as the time period for Twitter's existence in the public market comes to fruition. But for now, you had a decently clean day. Maybe some people will be like, oh my goodness, I missed it. It went into the 30s and I didn't get it. It's never coming back. And it adds some pressure. So we'll see. This is that opening price. This is the next obstacle for it to get back above, above this 44. So for me, I'm a little long. I'm trying to do a lot of little things here, trying to make money, have some quick feet, move and groove, shake and bake, rock and roll. No. Anyway, those all just rolled off. Another thing we were talking about today is Target. Target, this stock's gotten me many times. Okay, so many different times. I definitely lost money trying to do this with this stock because this is a quality name, and although I know most of our wives love to shop here, like mine, it's been pretty weak for the majority since the summer. But now it seems like it's trying to repair. I know a few different times I took it home long, looked good here, got hurt, looked good here, got hurt. So the old red dog would say, screw this, and then tell my wife to go start, shopping at Walmart or at Costco or somewhere else. But I'm kidding. Anyway, it's worth a try again. Wasn't ready, so we'll see what happens. Above the 66, perhaps we get a move to test this moving average and fill a portion of this gap. It's looking okay. It's looking better. Something to do. Walmart had a lot of strength today, breaking back above. This too is in the penalty box for a while before coming back to highs. So that's why I'm thinking Target, maybe put some in the drawer and maybe you get a trade. Again, it's a great shopping experience, but that's not why we trade or buy stocks. So with that said, JCPenney's also had a nice day. Unfortunately, I was not involved here. We traded this stock pretty well. I think it was a week or so ago when it broke this downtrend, and then it held higher. And then you had this move. I sold into this. I left the VTF and unfortunately did not rebuy back into that area. And now it seems like it's working higher. Still think this thing could work its way to 971-ish. And I know numbers are coming out soon, so just take a little care. But overall, still trending. People are still, finding things to do, making money in something like this. So good luck. Stay with it if that's you. Solar stocks, FSLR, breaking higher. We also, I think, had this on off the charts. Or the price point, one of those today, and it went. I avoided it. Overall, solar sector is acting very well. CSIQ at highs also. Let's see what Solar City Musk Sky is doing today. This one's been a little bit more battered and bruised. But this too, look, Red Dog reversal on Friday. Looked like it could have been down a little bit, crossed above Friday's high, and there's your day-and-a-half trade after a move down from 65 sub 50. That is a counter trend trade. That's how you use a Red Dog reversal for cash flow. Sometimes it's good for a day and a half. Sometimes it goes a little bit longer. You're probably going to get some resistance coming into this area. So see what happens there. Don't overstay your welcome if that's the case. So with all that said, today the indices were pretty flat. I think the digestion was pretty decent. There were definitely some spots that acted better than others, some worse than others. The virtual trade floor was all over a lot of different types of trades, and we welcome a lot of the new subscribers that came on last week to see us try and navigate Twitter and see what the virtual trade floor is all about. Hopefully you're still in the trial and you'll convert. We do have a lot of ideas that come across the desk all day long that we're trying to make money with, that if you like it and you were looking at it too, it could help you have some conviction to do it as well. Plus, we have a lot of guys talking about their ideas, and they've been trading professionally, or some of them do or don't. But anyway, lots of eyes and ears trying to make it happen. So hopefully you're there, you're finding success, you're taking it slow, and you'll stay with us. So with all that said, I'll see you tomorrow morning at the morning call. Have a great night.
I'm Mark Sperling, Director of Trading with T3 Trading Group and contributor to T3 Live. Do you trade on your own, but you wish you enjoyed the benefits of a large trading floor? With the T3 Live virtual trading floor, we deliver that experience to you on your computer. On the VTF, you can follow the long and short positions of experienced professional traders like myself, Scott Redler, and others, and listen to our live radio stations as we navigate the markets. In addition, you get the added value of a large community of sophisticated and like-minded traders. In my opinion, joining the room will be the best trading decision you will ever make. I would like to invite you to begin your membership with a 7-day free trial. To get started, visit t3live.com and click on the Virtual Trading Floor tab. Have a great day, and I look forward to seeing you in the VTF.